What's going on, everybody? Marvel the Cross 316 back with another comic book flashback. Today, we're starting a brand new series. We're looking at the first volume of Star Wars. This issue came out in July of 1977, and this is the very first time that any comic book industry made any effort to retell the story of Star Wars. And this basically takes place during Star Wars with A New Hope, the episode 4. And so this is a great issue, first fabulous issue. And we're going to be looking at the life of Luke Skywalker as well as just the retelling of episode 4. And so now let's go ahead and get started. We got to give credit where credit is due. This issue is brought to you by Roy Thomas, who basically wrote this issue and edited it. We have Howard Shaken on the illustrations, Jim Novak on the lettering page, and the adapting of this great space fantasy of all. And we got to give credit to George Lucas as well. And so now let's begin. It is a period of civil war in the galaxy. A brave alliance of underground freedom fighters has challenged the tyranny and oppression of the awesome galactic empire. To crush the rebellion once and for all, the Empire is constructing a sinister new battle station, powerful enough to destroy an entire planet. Its completion will spell certain doom for the champions of freedom. Striking from a fortress hidden among the billion stars of the galaxy, rebel spaceships have won their first victory in a battle with the powerful Imperial Starfleet. The Empire fears that another defeat could bring 1,000 more solar systems into the rebellion, and Imperial control over the galaxy would be lost forever. And so we have this big focus on these two different sides. You have the Empire, who are just very evil, they're tyrannical, and then you have the rebels. And so we have the Starfleet right here, controlled by Darth Vader here. And we had the stormtroopers that come on board attacking this rebel fleeter here. Basically, we're going to be introduced to two droids. We basically have C-3PO and R2D2 here. So the stormtroopers just, once again, like I said, storm right in, and they are battling these rebels. And we have C-3PO and R2D2 as they make their introduction, and they're trying to get out of harm's way. Back on Tatooine, this is where we're going to meet Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker lives with his aunt and uncle, and he's going to basically be looking at this battle taking place in the solar system with his binoculars. And so he gets into his land speeder, and he's going to go tell some people about what's taking place. And so this is where we meet Darth Vader for the first time here in this issue. And he's basically asking this person, where is the data you intercepted? They're looking for some information on some tapes here. This ship carries the crest of Alderaan. Is it any royal family on board? And we'll soon find out that there is some royal family on board, as we'll soon meet a very young, beautiful lady here, very quickly here. And so he says, find passengers on this vessel. I want them alive. And so we say, yes, Lord Vader. And so we see that R2D2 meets with this beautiful young lady. Her name just so happens to be Leia. She's the princess and a part of the Senate here, and we're going to see that she slips some kind of device inside of R2D2 that will be shown later on. R2D2 and C-3PO are then going to get in this emergency life pod and get out of harm's way. So that's what happens. And C-3PO and R2D2, if you need to know anything about them, they're like best friends. And basically, they escape while the Empire is basically taking control of this rebel spaceship, basically. And it looks like Leia is now going to be intercepted by the stormtroopers. They knock her out here, and basically she's going to be confronted by Darth Vader. And so we see that Luke Skywalker is going to go and he's going to tell some people about what he just saw. He meets up with one of his best friends named Biggs, and basically what we need to know about Biggs basically is that he's he's going to be joining the alliance, the Rebel Alliance here. That's his big thing, and we see that Luke is like, man, you're just setting yourself up for suicide here. It's just suicide to even go up against the Empire. And he wants to tell Biggs about everything that's going on, and Biggs takes his binoculars and looks up and says, it looks like it's probably a freighter tanker refueling or something. There's no battle going up there. And so Luke Skywalker's like, I swear to goodness, there's something going up there, right there with what's going on. And we see that Biggs is not, believing what he's saying. So then we catch up with Darth Vader and Princess Leia, and she says, basically, you're going to pay for this as you're attacking a diplomat. And he said, don't play games with me, Your Highness. This ship passed directly through restricted systems. Several transmissions were beamed to this ship by spies who are now unfortunately dead. I want to know what happened to those data tapes. And those data tapes basically will tell Darth Vader where this rebel hidden fortress is. If the Empire can take down the rebel hidden fortress, then the Rebel Alliance will completely fade out of existence and the Empire will gain control. And so that's what the main issue is with Darth Vader. He wants to find that hidden fortress. And so we see that escape pod basically crashes and lands on Tatooine, and we see that 3PO and R2D2 are going to be just like, what are we going to do now? We're on a foreign planet. We see that R2D2 is zapped here by these Jawas here. The Jawas take hostage R2D2 and C-3PO. And so while that's taking place, Biggs and Luke Skywalker continue to have a conversation here, and this is where Biggs basically tells him, he said, I made some friends at the Academy, Luke. When our frigate goes to one of the central systems, we're going to jump ship and join the Alliance. And this is where Luke's like, join the rebellion? Are you kidding? How? He said, quiet down, will you? My friend has a friend of Bestine who might help us make contact. He said, you're crazy. You could wander around forever trying to find them. And so he offers Luke to join him, but Luke says, no, I need to still work on my uncle's farm. I still owe him. And he's basically working for his uncle. And so back on the Imperial, in the conference room here, we see that a bunch of these guys are basically talking about what's the next move. This guy here basically says, I tell you, Darth Vader has gone too far. The Sith Lord went by. The Emperor will be our undoing. The Rebel Alliance is more dangerous than you realize. And so while they're having this conversation, we see basically Grand Moff Tarkin and Darth Vader enter the room here, and they're going to join the conversation. And as the conversation continues to unravel here, we see this one guy says he's basically doubting Darth Vader's ability to lead, and then we see Darth Vader begins to have a force hold choke on him. He said, I find your lack of faith disturbing. And he says, enough of this, Vader, release him. This bickering is pointless. Lord Vader will find the location of a rebel fortress by the time this station is operational. Then we will crush the rebellion with one swift strike. And so back on Tatooine, we see here that C-3PO and R2D2 are taken hostage by the Jawas, and actually they're going to be sold to Luke Skywalker here and his uncle here. Uncle Owen is who we find out that's his name. And so we see that what are you basically up to, C-3PO? What can you do? And we find out that C-3PO and R2D2 basically are good droids. And we see that Uncle Owen is going to basically buy both droids. And so they instantly align with Luke Skywalker. And Luke Skywalker gets to know R2D2 and C-3PO while Luke Skywalker is tampering with R2D2. We see that message that Princess Leia slipped into R2D2, and she's basically saying, Obi-Wan Kenobi, help me, you're my only hope. And so what is that message about? Well, Luke Skywalker has a lot of questions about Obi-Wan. He's heard of that name before, and he also knows of an old Ben Kenobi that lives around Tatooine. And so he's going to go tell his aunt and uncle about this, and his uncle vehemently tells Luke to have nothing to do with that wizard, that old wizard Ben Kenobi. He's up to no good, and you'll just get into a lot of trouble if you do. Go work on your droids and come back when you're done. And so we see that when Luke goes to check on the two droids, we see R2D2 has escaped and C-3PO is hiding. So now Luke is faced with the dilemma here. He needs to go find R2D2, but he's not going to do it at night because it's too dangerous and he doesn't want to come across the sand people. So the next morning, Luke gets into his vehicle here, and he's basically going to go on the search for R2D2. While on the search for R2D2, we see that the stormtroopers come to Tatooine to search for that escape pod because Darth Vader believed that there was some information on that escape pod, and we see that the stormtroopers realize that there must have been droids within that. And so while we see Luke is looking for R2D2, we see that a bunch of sand people are going to come and they're going to attack Luke and R2D2 and C-3PO. And as we see, Luke finds R2D2. He's happy to find R2D2, but now he knows that there is trouble amidst here, as R2D2 knows that there are some sand people around here. And this is where Luke is going to be attacked by one of them right here, right off the bat. Luke uses his weapon here to shatter the breaking here so that he can protect himself. But we see that within the fight, Luke is now going to have to be confronted by this Tusken Raider. That's the name that I've been trying to say this entire time. Tusken Raiders. And so how is Luke going to get out of this dilemma? He's been able to find and locate R2D2, but now he has no weapon to protect himself, and there's this Tusken Raider that's about to just kill Luke Skywalker. We're going to find all this out in issue number 2. Will Luke be able to survive this combat here, this big situation? All right, y'all. Hope you liked this issue. Go ahead, give this video a like. Comment down below what you like about this issue, and I'll see y'all in the next